Right. Welcome to future watchers of this video. This is the 3 minutes before we start. So enjoy the background noise. It will probably be loud.
If y'all haven't already, you're probably going to want to go ahead and log into your computers.
Yep. I greatly suggest logging into your computer.
Your preferred internet browser.
Right. Oh yeah.
Where is it?
Take a moment to scan the QR code and sign in, please.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't already, please scan that QR code and please sign in.
It's the little things.
It just lets us know that we actually have people showing up to this. Tell the professors that we actually have people showing up to this.
It's how we get funding.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you're too far away, you can get up and go up to the board. Like, don't be shy. I promise we won't fight you unless you want us to.
Fighting is not allowed in the student handbook, therefore it will not happen.
Oh,
I know. Not dealing with it though. Sure. Just walk about 100 feet that away, and I don't care anymore.
Not on campus ground.
It's non-campus grounds and not part of an event that I have to host. Those are my two requirements. All right. Got one more minute. Wait. So y'all two are here. Where's the Daisy? Yeah. Yeah. Probably busy.
Yeah. We're gonna do introduction.
Probably. You can stand up. Everybody, take a moment. If you weren't here last week, this is Matthew Jackson. This is our vice president, in case you need to meet him or bother him. We're just doing that because every other officer got to do this, but him. So now it's his turn.
I was in Alaska last week. So.
Yeah, you were in Alaska. All right. So hi everybody. Who here did the GitHub Workshop last semester? Okay, I see like a couple of y'all. This is mainly just going to be a recap for y'all. We like to do this every semester so like new incoming students can learn. But this is GitHub 101. Does anyone know what GitHub is? Or does anyone not know what GitHub is? All right, a lot of people. Okay, so GitHub is essentially... Oh, let's start this. So GitHub's basically, it's a website on the internet. And it provides a way for multiple people to work on the project at the same time. It's basically cloud file storage as well, but it's usually all public. Basically, if you put anything on GitHub, anybody can download what you put on GitHub. So be careful about that. And it's used professionally by major tech companies, partially because they have a way of basically paying for some private file hosting as well. But it's a great thing for maintaining what's called version control. Does anyone know what version control is? What is it?
Basically, anytime somebody works on a single project, it changes. And let's say another person ends up trying to change code. Well, if they end up conflicting, you go to version control and say, hey, take the most recent up-to-date stable version that you have and use that.
Yep, that is right. Basically, it's a way of keeping track of all the changes you've made on large projects. So are there any people in compilers or software engineering this semester? All right, we have a couple. You'll have use of that when you work on the major projects this semester. For the rest of y'all, basically you can use this whenever you have to do those group projects. Or if you just want like an easy way to have a way to save all your work here at school and then load it up at home pretty easily. It's kind of like a different kind of Google Drive. Does that make sense? All right. And the important thing and why we're teaching this is the software to use it is already on all the MCS school computers as far as I'm aware, except for the ones in the computer lab. But like the ones on either side, you should still have Git Bash and all that. But all right, are we ready to go? Do y'all have any questions before we begin? Yes. I think we're going to do a minor sign-in just so we know like who showed up at what event. Right. Yeah. All right, so we have the rest of everybody. So let's give them a moment to log in and get started. For y'all, let's see if can I go back on this PowerPoint easily? I can. For you 5 that just walked in, do me a favor and go to the sign up real quick with your phone. Your camera's broken? All right, you're fine. We'll do you manually. We know who you are. But all right. Just give 30 seconds for all those. All right. Oh, if you want to know a name to the face, I'm Womack. I am the club president, and I'm the big, loud, bearded man that like walks by every now and then in this good old building. Yeah, he's nodding his face. I can get very loud. Yes, do you have a question? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's okay. It was basically just like, hey, we exist. We're gonna be doing events like this.
So,
yeah.
Right in front, obviously he told you, I think so, I think he talked. His name is Steven Womack. He's our president.
Yeah.
Our vice president, can you speak real quick?
He already did.
Hi, I'm Matt.
Welcome for round 2.
If you like game development stuff,
Ex-vice president just arrived too. Get over here.
God.
Get over here. Meet ex-vice president Matt G.
Hello.
He's an alumni. He's
Yeah.
graduated.
he is majored alumni.
Just sitting in. Just wanted to watch.
Yeah, he's old friends.
He was our ex-VP. And then Frederick, can you raise up and wave at people?
Hello, people.
His name is Wyatt McWilliams. Really nice
Yeah.
guy. Okay. He's your design guy at first. And then for the name who I'm now talking to, I'm Dr. Flores. I'm the secretary for this club. You'll, AKA, if you ever see the emails that Belinda sends, I'm the one who sends it. So, you probably seen my name at least once or twice. We do have both of our executive committee members here today. Raise your hand.
Daisy, stand up.
Yeah.
If you're,
Colton, stand up. Both of y'all, stand up.
I think.
Stand
Oh,
up.
all right.
If you are interested on helping us and for the club, or you want to be part of a more deeper connection or club, do let us know. We're also creating executive committee members, and we do talk a lot to the head department, just like we just really mentioned earlier. Dr. Nobu actually wanted to attend virtually, but we're not doing that this semester at the moment. But that's a quick introduction. So if you ever see us, come say hello. We don't bite. We're all TS majors. We're shy. So, there's that. You make it seem wild. Sorry.
All right. Feel free to bother them or anyone walking around like Matt J. They'll be here to help if y'all get lost during this presentation or if you encounter some weird bug we didn't expect. So yes, let's get rocking and rolling. We already talked about that slide. All right, so before we begin, this is that vocabulary part that everyone hates, but we're gonna go through real quick just so you have an idea of things to Google at home or whatnot. Or you might occasionally hear me say these words over the next like 30, 45 minutes. So your vocabulary for today is version control, which we already talked about a little. Just tracking, making changes in code. And this doesn't matter too much like CS1 or 2, but in bigger projects, when you start getting thousands upon thousands of lines of code, this is where version control starts mattering. There is Git, which is a open source program for tracking changes in files. The big word that you're going to hear a lot today is repository or repo, which is basically just a bunch of code in a folder, either on the web or on your computer. Then there's main. This is basically the default development branch. This is where, like, for your code base, where you're editing all the stuff at. Now, the term branch is usually just a parallel copy of a repository. Basically, it's like a tree. You got your main branch, and you got all these little things splitting off, where like we all chose to do a little bit of development here and a little bit of development there, which is useful because we can mess with stuff without editing the main branch. And then we can just merge it back when we're done editing stuff. And then there's the term called a fork. Now, when you fork something, this is basically making a personal copy of this repository for your own use. This is like, hey, I need the notes on theory of algorithms for today, so I need to fork your copy of today's notes. All right. Next is something called a pull request. Now, a pull request is basically like, hey, I've made all these edits, and I'm going to tell the person that owns the notes, it's like, hey, I added these notes. Do you want to copy these notes to your notes as well now? And that's a pull request. Then these last ones are basically commands, and you'll be using these commands tonight. They're git clone, which is when we're copying a remote repository to our computer. Git checkout, which is something we're not getting in tonight, but this is where we can change branches that are on our computer. There's git add, or sometimes called git stage, where basically we're prepping all the changes we've made and saying, all right, these are what we've changed and what we're going to send back to our repository on the internet. Howdy. There's git commit, which is basically, this is the message you leave behind saying, this is what I changed and occasionally why I changed it. And then finally, there's git push, which is like, all right, I made a bunch of changes. Go internet, take it. Make it, you can have it too. And that's all the vocab I'm going to throw at you. Did all this make sense? Okay.
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud. As usual. That's all vocab goes. But all right, we're going to go step one. Get an account. So go on to Google, search up GitHub, take the first link, and the top right will have a sign up button. So you'll click that and follow the prompts.
Unless you already have an account.
And let us pray, because last semester, this is when GitHub went down. Their remote servers said no, but it looks like they're working this time. Yeah. Fun fact while y'all do this, it doesn't really matter what email you put for this account, because you can have multiple emails connected to one GitHub account, and you can edit those emails at any time. For now, we do suggest school email because it's there. All right. All right, so we're going to pause now until everyone gets their GitHub set up. You're one of the helpers. Yes, yeah, we're going to yes, against you. Yeah, it's a little not quite aggressive friendship. Emphasis on yeah. Yeah, yeah. So for your username, just something. Oh, just one, just one. When after like team members, y'all are all solo today, and y'all are all students. And after specific features, just ignore them all. Just say them. You can click one if you like, but most of them are optional stuff you can look at later. Yeah, easy. You could just log in.
It looks like people are actually logging in this time instead of.
Yes. Yeah. Last semester. Oh my god.
What happened?
So last semester, we got to this step, and the GitHub servers were down for 3 minutes. Yeah, it was very sad. I did it first. Just continue for yeah, that's if it asks for a team member, just click just yourself, declare that you're a student, and then just keep hitting that continue button. Yeah. Scroll down, say continue for free. Free software. Looks like we still got 2 people over there. Let me get it done. Yeah, just choose yourself. What type you're student. Yeah. And then just say continue on all of them. Yeah, skip past this stuff that you get into your preference. Yeah. Basically, we're skipping the personalization step.
Anyone having issues? No?
We got one over here.
Oh, is that the issue?
Scotty, beat me up. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it is for cybersecurity.
So basically, it didn't have a
I think Colton is going to be doing our cybersecurity stuff, right?
so that'll be your guess.
So he would probably be the best person.
Any questions? I don't have a team for now right now. Oh, so the hackathon is in general now? Yeah. That is hackathon. It's a code. Basically nice, right? That's really, the coding stuff is more visible. I don't know.
Right.
Hi, brother. That's mom in my third class, right?
How many people in here are freshmen? How about sophomore? Juniors? Okay. Is everyone in here a CS major? Everyone in here not a CS major?
This is a CS thing. All right, just about another couple minutes. Really done. We're ready to go.
Anyone in here interested in game development? Yeah, you? Okay. Who in here is interested in software engineering?
All right. No, we are ready.
Cybersecurity? You're just interested in everything, huh?
Perfectly fine. Dual majoring? That's an option. All right. We are ready to move on. So congratulations on completing step 1. All right. So step 2 is you are going to create a personal access token. This is not exactly a password. This is basically, we have to create this so you can basically push your data in your folders back onto the internet. This is how basically it knows like, hey, this is this random guy logging in to GitHub on computer number 5. Oh, but he has the personal access token, so he's allowed to push stuff to this repo. I'm allowed to basically throw this data back onto the internet. So y'all need to, at the top right, click the icon. Now for most of y'all, some of it y'all will be like a face, some of it's just gonna be a generic icon, but you'll click it, and then you'll go to settings after you click it. It'll basically do a little drop down box. And once you click on settings, you want to look on your left and you'll see something like this. And you want to scroll all the way down until you see developer settings. Once you click on developer settings, you're going to click on your personal access token, and you're going to basically generate a new token. You're going to name it, you're going to set when it expires, and for this one, you're going to click every checkbox on there. And once you do that, you're going to want to copy it, because this is the only time you will see this personal access token. So you'll want to copy it and like email it to yourself. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yeah, you're good. It's okay. A lot of good. Once you get to that, then you'll click on personal access token. 30 days is fine. Basically, no matter what, these personal access tokens are time limited. Eventually, they'll expire. So if you use this a lot, like and it's like, oh, I have a project in 90 days or whatever, you're gonna have to go through this process.
There is an option for no expiration.
Is there now?
Yep.
Okay.
Should we do this expiration?
That's your personal choice.
I would recommend only doing 30 days.
Yeah. The security professional in me says time limited is amazing. And the networking guy back there is like just smirking. I see you, Colton. All right. Did everyone get to the personal access? One people a little lost right now.
Anyone lost? Please raise your hand. That's why we're walking around. Take a picture of it, email it to yourself, make a Google document, anything you want. Just make sure that you have that token. Because you cannot find it again once you close out of that screen.
It's a big important thing. You will never see this token again if you do not save it somewhere. Remember this one. That is the token. I didn't know. GitHub Workshop. You have to give it a name.
I'm not gonna start with a talk about what that thing actually is.
Yes. A long, weird, complicated symbol of that.
Yeah, that's not it.
Like an email to yourself.
Like a search the internet, he's gonna tell us what it is for. Yeah, we all paid 15 bucks. I'll share with you, we have not in this class so far. Bro, I'm trying to chill. It's only been 2 months. Dude, don't tell me your thing is. I think I'm over. Did you do the deck? Yes. And did you have any problems?
Just make sure everyone knows what you're looking for when you copy it down. This is what you copy. So if you're confused or anything, you should end up this screen.
He does do that. Except,
Thank you, Ignacio.
Just because
we got confused. Like, if you say that there's an even amount of A's, or yeah, 2 A's, and an odd number of B's, all you get, if it happens to not be an A or B, return false. 4 lines of info. So I actually, I thought I made it overkill because I tried to make it to where it works with larger words, so it's my simple when I'm like doing it valid. So I like made it work with like potato and like random words like that, and it turned out to be a massive mistake. But I mean, I did something. You can't
I need that for here in development.
That's something plus the 9.
All right. Has everyone saved their personal access? So, when I have a copy. All right. Everyone's good? Once. Twice. All right. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to show y'all how to create a repository. So on the top left of your screen, you should see that cat logo with like the tentacle. Good old Octocat. Go ahead and click on that cat, and that'll bring you back to your home page. And then from the cat, you'll click on the new button, and you can give it a name. Just make this first repository, when it gives you the option private, click to add a README file. Should have been, so yeah, top left, very top left, and then you see the, oh, that changed. It used to just be new. I think it's because y'all are all new. So if it doesn't say new, look for the create repository button. Right. Give me just. All right. Yep. So go ahead. Just make sure give it that name. Hit create. We'll give y'all a moment to come up with something hilarious. We saw a lot of weird names once upon a time. Right. Does everyone look good? Does everyone hit the magic create button?
Repository make repository.
Look, Shippy McBoatface is a ship, not a folder.
But it can be a folder as well.
God. Wait till you're in compilers class. You'll be allowed to make a compiler commands where it's like file McFile.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Right. To walk around, make sure everyone has created one. I wouldn't put it private. README file. Don't worry about the license part. A lot of these other options you'll see basically exist for like if you're a business making a repository first. Yes. Right. Very good. All right. Good job. Put it right.
So what we're doing, are you familiar with
The file.
Nope.
Okay. Looks like we're all ready to move on.
Yeah. That's it. These are secondary.
Okay. Step 4. All right. We showed you how to create a repository. Now we're going into the more complicated stuff. Basically, how do I get someone else's repository? So you do have to go to this link, github.com/Angelo State CS, where the A, both S's, and the C are capitalized, /Git Workshop. So we're going to take a moment pause as you all have to type into the address bar.
I just want to mention something right now.
make sure you capitalize what is capitalized. So for A, Angelo, capitalize the A, capitalize the state and S, capitalize the ES and everything. It is case sensitive. It is very important as programmers that case sensitive matters a lot.
You can assume for the rest of the night, if we put something, it's case sensitive. All right. Let's take a moment, get y'all all going to the right website. And now, once you get, yes, here, I'll help you out. You got it? Okay. Yeah, just hit the fort button and you should have a copy. Yeah, just hit create fort. Okay. Oh, you. Here, go to the. Yeah. Fork is in the top right of the screen. Correct. And then you'll hit create fork. Yes. So you have a we're okay. Not bad. Come on. Find out is one issue about proceeding. You can skip this stuff. You already have that one. Yeah, y'all two get to sit this well. That would be where you go all yes.
Are you really psyched to use this?
Just hit create form. Nothing to do here. You're just copying the main branch. Right. You'll notice there's a lot of random text on there. This is because of the last semester. Oh, they're wonderful. You didn't say it here. No, we didn't. You can go into the description if you want, but notice the main thing is you'll hit the create form button.
You know the telltale like sign was that you had a massive water. I am. I think my Java stuff is
You can watch your experience.
I'll be a Discord mod.
I always love this. Yes. Yeah. The activity is just built up by activity. Alright. So it looks like we all created a fork. So we can move on to the next step. So congratulations, by forking that repository, you now have a copy of it on your account. But how do we get it to your local machine? Or any machine? Well, you'll need to click on that green code button on your local fork. And once you hit that green code button, you need to click on the HTTPS link.
For the people who have, actually that's on the fork, right?
No, this is on their personal repository. Yeah, their personal fork. Yeah.
When they created their initial repo, there was something different, but honestly, I think you can skip that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ignacio. All right. So once you copy that HTTPS link, we'll save that. All right. You get to do the next fun part. On your computers, you need to search up git bash in the address bar. That's the top, sorry, not top, that's the bottom left. Basically like you're searching up a program on your computer right now, but you're searching up git bash. Right. Now, every single one of these computers should have git bash. If for some reason the right row is messed up, tell me, because I know those computers are always silly. Exactly. All right. Okie-doke. There is a space. So it should have just been GI space back. All right. This is the computer that's silly. I would like to apologize. Or is it the one computer that doesn't have it?
Oh, it's not.
Those computers on this side.
That's how much yes. Structure programs I make, you have to put it in.
Yes.
Except that does nothing.
Yes.
Because it's been like yeah. Are you on the map? No, he's like you should be. He's a hero. Oh, cool. So this is yeah, I'll explain my code. Yeah, yes, he did it. He's up. I can't believe it. Oh. All right. So
yes. We're about to get to it. We're out there. All right.
oh, it's the
Yeah, we're just doing the policy. Yeah. Okay. Max. Yeah, that's why. So you have to definitely Oh. Yeah. We should put a warning. We forgot to give a warning. Very limited. All right. So I think half of y'all are getting ahead already, which is okay. But if you got to get bash from here on out, oh god. Back. All right. Can't click. You'll notice these letters in white. These are commands that you can use on your terminal. So the first one is basically you're setting the user that's currently on git bash. So you do git config -- global user.name, and then there's double quotation marks. And those double quotation marks, that's the name you want to basically state. This is the person using Git right now. And just similarly, below that, there's the git config global user.email. And this email, though, you want to use the same email you used for creating your GitHub account. So you use your school email, do that. If you use a personal, do that. But just make sure it's the email you use to create your account. I don't know if y'all can see it just right over here, but like you'll notice like first one has quotation marks at the end, second one doesn't.
oh, that's
We're gonna walk around and see anyone that's up.
minus skip though.
That, the last command you see on that picture there is basically a way to check to see if you did it.
Yeah, that's
So you can type in git config -- git user.email, see that you put in the right information.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but We're gonna take a moment to make sure everyone gets this sparked up.
Oh yeah. Maybe try to send it already connected.
Because I think that one of your earlier comments started doing
Yeah, actually.
Short answer is on this computer you are considered No, you did it right. It's not
Not like the people. You're not really synergy like that.
only on the computer. So if you go to a new computer, you want to like set this up first. Basically, it's like, oh, I need to support me later. Maybe such a user need money now. This is Dojo's things. Who is requesting this information? It's like a stamp or something. Whenever we do command,
There's GitHub, right?
yeah, it's up on GitHub. It's more about
About this stuff too.
right. Welcome. I think we're doing okay. Has everyone set up their email and username? Does anyone still have issues? Are we ready to move on to more commands? All right. It looks like we're ready to move on to the next slide. We'll do. All right. So we're going to talk briefly about some commands real quick. Because some of y'all have been through CS2. Some of y'all might not have been. Some of y'all might have been a little bit. Some of y'all might have had principles of Unix today and are getting a rehash of what you learned today. So the important command is cd. Cd changes directories. Cd basically lets you move around in your folder. So we can do, like over here, cd and then space, and then we can just type my, uppercase M, lowercase y, and then hit the tab key, and that'll auto-complete our command. And now we can change folders into our documents. Does that make sense? If you're on a school computer, you should assume Git Bash will connect you to your P drive automatically, which is nice. All right. So the first thing we basically need to do is, once we get into our documents, is we need to use another command that's called make directory. So we use lowercase m, k, d, i, r, and a space. And then we're going to call this folder that we're about to make, or this directory, repos for repositories. So that way you have a folder that'll hold everything you mess with GitHub. So you'll put in that make directory repos, and then we'll type in cd space repos and hit enter, and then we'll go into that repos folder. Once we get into the repos folder, then we finally get to start messing with Git again. And we're going to clone that repository that you have on the internet. We can do that with this last command, which is git clone, and you don't need the brackets or anything. You can just shift insert that HTTPS link, or you can right click and put paste. And basically once you have that in, you'll hit enter, and it'll be on your computer. So we're going to pause here for a moment and walk around as we get through step 8. Yes.
So, do you want the Git workshop that we got from
A semester ago?
well, because do you want the Git workshop or the Ruby grade?
Yeah, so funny name.
I want you to bring in the Git workshop.
Okay.
Yeah. I want you to clone the Git workshop. All right. Sometimes, actually, this will be fun. Something you'll see in like 2 minutes. All right. We're gonna go along and make sure we get through step 8. Won't be slow. So, all right. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, all right. That's, I've never come to this. Okay. Good. So, right here. I'll go over there. Oh, backspace. Oh, all right. So shift that, and then we'll press. Stop. Yeah, that's the best way I know to do it on laptops. Your documents. Yes.
I did see like a picture. Pretty much the same, but everything pretty much is learning is like yes, because you're gonna be using that so much when you actually are coding. But I probably do the same thing in terms of right need to face that there trying to figure out how to do it. It is cool, but it is I never used that. What project are you talking about? You can run
Yes, ma'am. All good, you all good, you all good. Good woman, come here. Yes.
Yeah, you're saying.
Okay. So put it however you watch when it starts. Then here.
It's still lame. It's not a rope. It's like, yeah.
Well, don't worry, don't worry. That I did not. This is it's not copy. It's basically you're where you need to be.
Yep, you're good. Yep.
You're right here. Right here. Yeah, everything right here. Extra. Right, program will start with Alright, no problem. You don't ever have to worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Space. Then you hit, yeah, it's there. So now we change directory into
Now we get each other.
right. Right now we're in my documents. Now we're in other repos. Now we're in repos. Yes. Hold shift and insert.
I'm trying to figure out how they hacked it. Oh, shit, I did.
Yeah, you can't do control V on here. Because it takes on a Bluetooth and Linux. It's okay. And then hit enter. Ta-da! Alright, I think that's it. Alright. Alright, so you're caught up. And it's now. Alright, so everybody, congratulations. that file now exists on your computer. But let's make a change, right? So go ahead, hit ls, type in ls command, and you'll get a list of all the files that are in your folder right now. And you'll notice, if you're all in your repos folder or wherever you are, you should now see the Git Workshop folder. And it might even be a different color. So you need to change directory into this Git Workshop folder. Because we want to edit it. We want to make a change to it. All right. So everyone change into that Git Workshop folder. And we'll move on to the next part. I'm going to give you all 10 seconds.
8, 7, 6, 5,
You thought we were lying?
2, 1.
All right, creating a change. So we're going to talk about a new command, the touch command. So now y'all are going to create a text file because text files are simple. Now this is very careful. I know it says touch your username.txt. It is vitally important we do not all have the same file. So you need to put like your Angelo State username as your file name. So like for me, it would be touch swomack5.txt. But basically you need to create that file. And once you create this file utilizing the touch command, we need to edit that file. And to edit that file, we have another command. And that command is start, as in we're starting a program. Notepad++, because all of y'all will have to use Notepad++ in your career here. And then the name of that text file. Here it says username.txt. That name instead is going to be whatever name you gave that text file. And once you do that, you're going to open it, you're going to put some random text in it, and you're going to save it. So go ahead and get that done, and we'll talk about the fun fact after when we're about ready to move on. I'm going to walk around, we're going to get everyone through this part. What does it do? You type in touch space and then the file you want. The first step is the name. The period and everything after that is the type. So you might do touch Womack or Mason. Notepad. The next command is dictate. Start Notepad. Start saying, hey, I want to put a program to run. Notepad++ is a known file and a known name to start something. We all put the computer on that Windows. I say start Notepad++. It knows the location of where to call Notepad++.
It starts Notepad++ because Notepad++ is an application.
Yes.
When you type start in an application, it opens the application. And then since you typed in that's the second part, it starts the file. So now you're opening the file.
Type in ls.
What did you do?
Notice you can find your start Notepad. That's what that long command.
I did yesterday today. It's like,
Yeah, right. You Start the application with this document. Start the application with this document.
Alright, see you later. Yeah.
Put some random text in there and see. Yeah, you've already done this.
No worries. Alright, see you tomorrow. Probably I'll see you tomorrow. But I'll see you the next day also.
One of the days. Basically, we're gonna allocate it like certain things. So look at the section here to save understand when you start Notepad, it is important to put some sort of text in there. Git ignores blank files because there's nothing. You need to put something in this text file.
It literally could be any.
Well, Control X. Didn't save it. Alright, you're good. The main thing is it has to be some. Could just be hello. Could be banana. Could be why is this person talking so loudly right now?
Could be I'm bored.
If you're bored, I'm sorry. We try to make this fun, but I'm one man. I'm one man with a PowerPoint. All right.
At least it's not black and white this time.
I can change it. We can go back to black and white.
No, please no.
They hate my aesthetics. You hear this? All right. Are we all ready? Are we all good?
Make sure y'all Control S or save your file, be it on Notepad or whatever editor you use, but always save those buttons. Make sure you save it. Okay, Control S.
All right. Now, before we go on, I'm going to mention a fun fact that can go in one ear and out the other. You don't have to use like start Notepad++. You could have just typed code, then a space in the file name. Or you could have done Git Explorer. Feel free to Google different ways to open files using Git Bash because there are a lot of options. And it's a good way to learn if you are like me who hate Notepad++ with a burning passion. But moving on. Step 11. So the Git workflow. This is basically the big thing to remember. This is what businesses unfortunately have to spend a lot of money on just teaching the basics of. The Git workflow is basically, hey, I've downloaded this file, I've made a change, I need to upload it back to my remote cloud, basically, my remote folder. So in the terminal, you're going to type git space add space period. And what this does is it basically adds everything in the current file you're in and saying, hey, prep this to go to the internet. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to type git space commit space. Pronunciation is a thing that I like doing horrible things to. But all right, space -m. And the -m is basically an option saying, hey, I'm about to give you a message as well. And the next part is space and double quotation marks, the message you want to give. You can put whatever message you want in here. Generally on the job, this will be like, hey, this is what I changed. Really quick and simple. Or this is why it got changed. And you'll hit enter after that. And then you'll type in git push. And when you hit git push, this is where the school stuff is going to get a little weird. So pause after that. Some of y'all, maybe authentication won't show up, but probably for the majority of you, it will. And if during this process you're kind of lost and wondering what to do, Fun Fact 3 is there to guide you. At any time, you can type in git space status, and hit enter, and it'll tell you what you need to do next in the workflow. Whether you need to add some files, where you need to commit them maybe, or whether it's time to push these files away. So we're going to take a moment. We're going to make sure everyone gets to the authentication. And if you're doing the authentication right now, it's probably going to break. God help us all. All right. So let's just pause and make sure we get all the magical login screen.
You should see a little box that says GitHub with your username and password email. Do not do anything yet. This is where the school computers are ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is yeah, because some of you are skipping ahead and you'll see open SSH. And that's the specific thing for the school.
Yeah.
If for some reason you see open SSH, please for the love of God, pause. All right. But we're all hopefully there. You two, on your own computers, this is where things are going to differ for you. You might instead do a pop-up online for you, something like that. This is the next slide is specific for if you need to use a school meeting. Okay. All right. Have we all seen the magic pop-up of doom? I think so. No. Oh yeah. Question.
So if I were to get this on my own computer too, like a personal one, would I have to do all this again?
You don't have to do the next step, basically. This next step is the only thing that differs.
So if I were
Yeah.
to put this on.
But the magic is now you can have the same files on your laptop and at school and at your friend's house and
So I can bring my
Anywhere that you have access to the internet, you have access to these files.
Yep.
It's
It's basically Google Drive for coders.
okay, we're gonna put the slides up.
Yes, at the end of this.
So if you don't have to worry about taking pictures or anything like that, we are gonna upload all of these slides to our Discord.
You'll see a link at the end of this if you're worried about that. All right, so we're gonna move on.
Move on, guys. Finally.
Hey, we're ahead of schedule, sir.
This is where y'all are supposed to see.
All right, so authentication. This is the password part. You'll see this screen right here, this big one. In this one, it's very simple. You'll enter your GitHub email and password, which you're all probably used to at this point. So you'll do the login. The next weird one is the open SSH. Now make sure you click on the white thing because for some reason it thinks you're still in the terminal. So make sure to click this part. Oh God. Because I'm a horrible person. Okay. But basically you'll still put your GitHub email and you'll hit OK, and then it'll ask for a password. Instead of the password, you're putting in your personal access token that we made you save a little bit ago. That's the weird part. When you get to open SSH, put in your GitHub email, but put in the personal access token for the password. And be careful because you're not going to be able to see this information because it's all going to be starred out. So it's important to just do a proper copy paste. All right. So we're going to get through this part and we're going to make sure it works. And this is always the weirdest part. This is where it wants that personal access. Line your email address at once.
Click up again, and then that's where your PhD is.
Try it. Follow it.
That's right. Let's go. All right. Email.
Yeah. This is the weird part. The weird things happen like this. Yes. Everything after this is yeah, like slow because this is a bunch of commands.
All right, Lauren. Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh, there's one. I'll do it up here over here. You broke it. Yep, broke it. Used your email.
Oh yeah, because if they all try to start it, because nothing changed. You already did it before. So, wait, you want to do it?
Here we go. These are very big. Okay, so login field is okay. You care about, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all you care about, you might see a login field on the terminal. You care about this big old line where it's like, hey, I'm enumerating data.
But everything works. Because when you change the name, like the name of that, but if you did put
That is your.
I know you did.
It's 280.
Oh, there's that.
Why would you just say? Oh, I thought that was. No, it's fine if you want to start. Whatever you want. You didn't make a terrible mistake.
It's
Almost like you're forgiving a new PhD.
our office is Raspberry, but we work everywhere. If something happens physically to the computers, or like we have to go and you need to go there and fix it, reach out. It's like what I want to do. Either back end web development, admin, or software development.
All right, while we're waiting, who all's done? Okay. Who in here is under the age of 21?
We have parties or what?
Who in here is under the age of 25?
You gotta make me feel old, man.
Who in here is under the age of 30? Or over the age of 30, sorry. Who in here is over the age of 21? Over the age of 25? Over the age of 30? So the oldest. I am 38.
You're getting into not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to guess my age? And those who know it, us.
You're 800. You're
800.
40. Now it's
40. We've got one person that says 40.
You're
Anyone else say 40?
whatever the next thing.
35? Anyone else? 32?
So
Okay. That is true. A non-zero amount. 36. Anyone else want to take a guess? No one? I am 38. You are never too old to go back to school. Do what? No, someone said 40, so I think. Who said 40? You did.
yeah, we're gonna
I'm the cranky old man.
All right, we're gonna move on, folks. We are technically on a time limit. All right. So hi everybody. So you've successfully thrown your code back onto the internet, but hey, I'm in a group project, right? I need to make sure like the original thing gets my code, right? We need to have all the group members on the same project. So how do we mix people's codes when they're on different branches? Well, we do it by what's called merging. So you need to go back to your fork on GitHub and click on pull requests near the top. And Matt G, could you go ahead and log on to the GitHub? Oh, then I'll log in a moment. Yeah.
Oh, Matt, you can use mine.
Yeah. I'm gonna have him do the merge for me. But all right. So once you get back on GitHub to your fork, so it'll be like iFlores/Git Workshop or whatever. You're gonna click on pull requests, and then you're gonna click on the green button that says new pull request. And basically, you're making a request for the CS Club to accept your code. So once you click on that green button, you will be brought to this kind of screen. And all you're going to do here is you're going to hit create pull request, and you're going to get like this text dialog box. And this would be normally where you're explaining to people like, hey, this is why you should accept my code because I'm your group member, or this is really awesome, or whatever reason you want to give it. But you'll just hit the create pull request button again for the third time. Sure, leave a comment. I'll laugh at them later. If you don't think I'll laugh at them, you don't know me.
Yeah, pull requests.
Oh, I need to get to that email.
Have people comment, you can't. You can say, you know, like, send a pull request. People are pretty pumped.
Did you break?
All right. Angelo CS Club. Yes.
Did we change that?
Yes, to GitHub. I need to just log on to the CS Club. Yeah, I did because you didn't ever have it on there. So I changed it. Yeah, I have it. I'm just logging into the Angelo State CS Club right now. If I can remember our ACM student chapter. Why did we... Student... All right. So has everyone started putting in their pull requests? Because you'll give me one and I'll start agreeing to them all. And then you too will be on this massive list of text files for the next semester to look at. Oh Lord, if it loads. We're doing good. Time capsule of names and random thoughts. Oh Lord. Here. Hey, just log. I know the password. I need you to. Because I don't have the email. Oh wait, yes I do. All right, we're good. Give me a moment. The code is 022436. Let's approve a bunch of pull requests. All of you.
This one,
I do. Yeah. It is. But that's what he's going to do for me. Yes. All right. So while our beautiful alumni is approving all of your requests, we're going to tell you how to update your local copy. Well, you'll have to go back to the Angelo State CS main branch, and you'll have to recopy that HTTPS link. But all you're going to type is git pull again. And so you're going to type git pull instead of git clone. Does that make sense? So technically, y'all can go up in your terminal far enough, if you're lucky, and just replace the clone with pool. If you do that, you're updated. Okay, that's life. We all make mistakes. Oh, I should have? I can back up then. We can be back over here.
honestly, I would pull up the GitHub HCM. Just to show your machines.
What?
Oh, wait, no.
I mean, yeah, we can just show that.
Just to show-
Well, actually, it's not obvious anymore. Because we have a lot of
You'll
people.
see the duration. It's just like, you literally, like, they don't know what to do.
Give me a moment. 984. So if you're wondering what has changed, by the way, all y'all, we can look over here. And you can now maybe see, hopefully, some familiar names on here. This is...
All right, listen up, everyone. So, if you did it, so what we did here, so we get a pull request. So what that was, if you remember, is we're sending a copy to the main original copy. Hey, accept my changes. If you look on the GitHub here, you'll see maybe your text file. You maybe saw the file that you made, and it's on our copy now. So you basically collaborated with us on this repo here. That is what you did when you sent a pull request. However, to accept a pull request, we went up to the pull request up here, the 13, and here's all your pull requests. You probably see your message right there right now. Right there is saying, hey, I want to help you with your code. This is what I changed. Accept my copy, right? And so here, Matt G over here is accepting y'all's copies right now, and it's changing our repo. And for code, you are helping our code as well. That is what you've done. So that is collaboration with GitHub. All right.
We have a monkey over here desperately accepting code. Desperate.
But all right. And then you can explain
Yes.
the next, and this is the last step.
This is the last step. It's all downhill from here, I promise y'all. Y'all get to go home soon. Basically it's like, hey, you've uploaded it to the internet. But the main branch has changed a bunch. It's almost like 30 students added text files to this thing. So how do we update our local copy? How do I upload what my partner did to my code? Well, go back to Angelo State CS, Git Workshop. You copy that HTTPS link. You type in git pull instead of git clone. And add that link, and you're done. You have now on your P drive about 60 students worth of random text files. We'll give you all a moment. All right, man. Pause. We'll accept the rest later.
So Womack, I got some.
You got something for me? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was wondering when I would see this today. This, occasionally y'all might get a turquoise merge message, in which case, no, it's not. Yeah, so we're just going to type this magical QA button.
Now you can see everyone's changed the
Quit.
So if someone else opened the code, you can see what and they
Yeah, it's colon QA. Dot dot. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
It basically tells you what to do at the very bottom as you see the turquoise text of doom. Very bottom. Cancel that merge request.
I see that.
Yes. Yes. Someone has put the B movie on here. If you ever wondered, if you ever want to watch the B movie, well, guess what? The script is not part of it.
Who did that?
We don't know, anonymous person, but we're judging you.
It's a B movie.
All right, but it looks like
Probably was why.
Wyatt doesn't have a computer on. He's safe today. But all right, we're nearly done. Congrats, all y'all, for sitting through this with us. Hey, though, if you want free stuff, you're now part of GitHub. You can get the GitHub Student Developer Pack, and Mr. Colton over there will now advertise for it because he loves it. What's on it?
This GitHub Student Developer Pack is basically a free pool of different resources, websites that you have access to because you're a student at a university. So as long as you give them your student email, so they can like verify that you're a student. Sometimes they'll ask for like proof of enrollment. If you give it to them, they're gonna say, "Oh, you're a student. You're learning. Here's a bunch of free, usually very expensive stuff that you can use while you're a student." So there's cloud credits if you want to host things like a website. There's all sorts of paid code editors. There's all sorts of good stuff. So if you're interested in finding free stuff, take a look at it.
Yes. And we're done, everyone. Thank you. This is our accreditation slide because we use a template online. If you want to get to our Discord, there's our QR code. Hopefully it works and I didn't mess it up. I think it's good though. Hey, I got a thumbs up. It works. I'm safe tonight. You're there. He's lying for me, in which case I appreciate you so much. All right. But thank you all for getting through GitHub with us together. If you want help or you want comments or concern, you just want to hang out and chat, I think we're allowed to stay in this room until 8, in which case the tutoring... Oh, see? Thank you, Secretary. Yeah, because technically tutoring happens in this room a lot, too. Not anymore? Ignacio. Cruel man.
Let's call our presenter a kind of quiet round of applause. His door's open, but...
Oh, thank you. I appreciate all of y'all. And to those of you that will watch this recording in the future, as usual, the CS Club apologizes for all issues because our recordings are horrible.